These are the 3 things that separate the top 5% people online who are building personal brands. If you're pushing content to grow a personal brand, you need all 3, and starting with the one that actually works before you even open your mouth. So the thing number 1 is picture. Before you open your mouth, your picture, the background, the lighting, it decides your credibility. It decides whether people behind the screen trust you or not. I think there's multiple studies that prove that in the first few seconds, people decide their first impression, and that impression is visual. So how you look on camera, your lighting, your background, your colors is the first thing that will separate you from other 95% of creators, and you will stand out already. So back in 2020, when I started creating some content, I was filming a lot of different videos just for fun, just for art, nothing about monetizing at that point. So I was just, making some craft, and it was fun. And at some point I thought that I knew a lot of things about video already. But right now I understand that I know much more things than I knew before. I remember I would finish recording a video, put it on a timeline, and see that I don't like it. Why? I couldn't understand. Sure, there can be different reasons why I don't like your video. It can be the colors in the video, it can be lighting, it can be editing, it can be storytelling, it can be, I don't know, how your hairstyle looks on camera. There's a bunch of different reasons, but most of that people understand on a basic level. So they understand if you're shooting a video, you need to look clean, you need to look fresh, and the story needs to sound good. But in a lot of cases, people don't pay attention to such simple thing as lighting, and probably many people make it much more complicated in their heads than it actually is. Because lighting can be really easy if you understand the basic principles. I'm talking about using windows and lamps. You don't need fancy gear at the beginning, because if you don't understand basic principles, you will not know them even with the fancy gear. If you want to upgrade, first understand the principles and then buy the gear. So at some point I reached a really good level at editing videos. I think I made hundreds of videos, if not thousands, in those 6 years. And I edited different videos in different styles for different purposes. But yeah, it took me a while to understand that lighting is a really big leverage. And it gives you one of the highest ROIs in video production, especially if we're talking about building business online and personal brand. So at some point I decided to buy a course about lighting, and to be honest, before buying a course I thought that I knew a lot about lighting, but I did not. And then I studied a lot. I think I rewatched that course 3 or 4 times, and I practiced a lot. So practice also is very important, because if you know theory, that doesn't mean anything, because in practice it can be much more complicated to put all those things into your mind together. My first before afters after taking a course were really not that impressive. I just kept practicing, and my videos are where I am right now. So, and when I got better with lighting, and finally it clicked, finally people on Instagram noticed some difference. My friends noticed some difference. They told me that my videos got much better. By the way, I packed all of my knowledge on lighting into a lighting playbook with insights and mistakes that I made throughout my journey. If you would like to buy it, the link is in the description down below, and I'm not pressure selling you. You can check out the landing page, read about that playbook carefully, and then decide whether you want to purchase it. And to summarize, lighting is really important because there can be 2 creators who are in the same niche, talking about the same things, same value, and one of them reads as expert and the other one reads as just unprepared. And you really don't want to be unprepared in business and personal branding, because you want people to trust you, you want to be more credible, and that's why lighting has one of the highest ROIs in video production. And the next thing is sound, which is actually logical after picture, because people first they see and then they hear, right? So the first impression is visual and the second impression is sound. I would say that people can forgive bad video, but they cannot forgive bad audio. So if you completed the first step and you completely forgot about the sound, which is the next step, this is much worse than the other way around. Because people can forgive bad video, it can be mediocre, it can be not as good, but if the audio is terrible, people will not listen to you. And the moment it's unpleasant to listen to, they're gone. The sound itself doesn't need to be cinematic, it just needs to be clear, clean, and pleasant to listen to. So make sure you're using a good mic, or at least you have some noise cancellation, or you take care of the audio in post-production, or you can just sit in a quiet environment without echo, without other noises. Of course, if you're shooting outside, you can't really do much about the sound, but make sure that people can hear you well, and that would be enough. You can buy like for $50 DJI mic mini, and that will be a good investment. So the third thing is storytelling, and it is also very logical, because first people see, then they hear, and they make sure that the quality of the sound they hear is good, and then what they hear is actually the storytelling. There are different ways to tell a story. For instance, picture and sound are also a part of story, because you can make lighting look dramatic, or you can make it look more neutral, the shadow on a face, the brightness in the room, and that will tell the story as well. And the story is the third component, because even if you close all the visual aspects and the sound, if there's no story, there's nothing to listen to. And I'm actually continuing to work on my storytelling right now. I came across this from Tom Nosky. He's a really good example. He was on the Kinsa podcast and talked about the 3 things that audience need from you, and I realized that I was doing only one of the 3. So the 3 things are relate, admire, and inspire. The first one is your past, struggles and failures, moments when it didn't work. The second one is admire, your present, who are you right now, what you've built, what you know, and without this, relatability has no payoff. And the third thing, which is inspire, this is where are you going, what are you building, what is your future, and this is what keeps people coming back. So as I understand this, you're basically documenting your journey, which keeps people coming back. And if you combine all these 3 things, relate, admire, and inspire, you're gonna build a really powerful personal brand. And it builds much more trust than just telling any tip or advice. A lot of people are making this value content and are focusing too much on exposing the real value, but most people don't know their problem even exists before you tell them. So most of your content has to be why content, so people can see the content that explains what are you doing and why are you doing it, not how are you doing it, because people are not interested in how if they don't understand why. So once again, don't just push value content, don't post only tips and tricks. Try to post something different. Try to post why content. Try to post your journey, your inspirations, your future, your mistakes, failures, and then build those 3 things. And I think it's going to be much more powerful than just posting value content, because otherwise people cannot relate, they cannot understand who are you, where are you going, and what are you building. This is why sometimes good content gets no traction, and it's probably not the algorithm. And this is what I'm gonna be focusing on right now, building more presence, telling about my story more, my failures, my mistakes, and my future, what I'm building, and my present as well. So if you close all of these 3 things, which is sound, picture, and storytelling, you're gonna be ahead of 95% of people who are building personal brands online. So of course, focus on these 3, but I recommend starting at least with a little bit of work with picture, because if your lighting is bad, people are going to click off the video, they will not hear the sound, which is the second thing, and they will not hear your story, which is the third thing, which is actually really important. But before they get to the story, they need to go through the first impression, and if it's bad, they are not going to hear your story, unfortunately. So once again, if you would like to improve the first impression of your video, focus on lighting right now. The link to the landing page of Lighting Playbook is down below in the description. You can check it out, read about it. You don't need fancy gear at the beginning. It goes as we progress. So first we start with the window light. You can even build things with these lamps in the background. You can build DIY softboxes, you can do bounces from a wall, and I explain exactly how to do that in the playbook. It costs only $37. It's a one-time purchase, lifetime access. You can return to it anytime you want, read as much as you want, and you get a bonus checklist which is included into the price, which helps you to make sure every time you set up the lights or you shoot a video that you position yourself properly, that you check all the boxes, and that the image looks clear and good. If you would like to read about it, the link is in the description. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.